Well, welcome back to the show. Buckle up with the boys here. Another special episode with guest Jesse Bosnik's here tonight. Jesse, how are you doing? Oh, you might be muted.
Is he moving?
Oh, Jesse, you there? We hear you. Down. Okay, I'll send you another link. Okay. Josh, we'll get it figured out someday. Okay.
I got you. We're good. We're in.
Oh,
We're
okay.
in.
All right. We'll just keep it going. Jesse, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Drew?
Good. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on. We're here with co-host Josh Mitchell as well. Jesse, I just wanted to, kind of dive in here for the people from Elk County that might not know you, or, we have fans in Olean area, Buffalo area. Where did you grow up, and where did you go to high school and college, Jesse?
Grew up in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. Went to high school at Elk County Catholic, and then college at St. Bonaventure.
Okay.
And then 1 year at IUP, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, and just for, I think everybody that knows you as well, knew you primarily played baseball, but you also were a baller in basketball. What other sports did you play at ECC that people might not know about you?
The only other sport other than baseball and basketball I played was golf. That was more of a hobby.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
That's how it is. That's how it should be.
Okay. Yeah. No, but and we can't, just a little snippet from that. We can't talk about your career at ECC on the basketball side of things without that 33-0 team. If you could just touch on what was it like being on that team, and I mean, the team was stacked, Jesse.
Yeah, it was really neat. We were good. Practices were intense. A lot of times now or ever, it's
right.
Starting five versus second five or whatever it may be.
Right.
That year it was pick a five, let's go, and it was an all-out war. And physical, like guys would get into fights with me, starting a lot of them because I wanted to win.
Right.
And
Love it.
Practice was over, and we were, boys again. We were best friends. But that's
right.
If I could explain it just in one way, it was just the competitiveness from 1 through 14 guys, and just getting after it every single night. Games were fun, but we got better in practice, and it was just the brawl every night.
Right.
And I'm willing to bet, Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, I'm willing to bet that some of those practices, if not all those practices were harder than a lot of the games you played, especially
for sure.
Elk County.
For sure, it was. And that's not taking anything away from the competition. We were faced. We played a lot of good teams, but practice was, Kez is an unbelievable athlete. Josh Salter, Mahone, Brad Mahalik, guys just going at it. Tony Lecker, it was fun.
Yeah, no, and all good guys on that team as well. Jesse, just going on the side of things here too, just to piggyback that, I think people probably want to know, was there any offers for basketball coming out of high school?
So, yeah, I could get into this pretty good.
Okay.
But just Cliff Notes version.
Get into it. Let's hear it,
my
man.
passion is hoops. Was hoops.
Right.
Growing up, spent a lot of time playing hoops. The recruiting process, I didn't play a whole lot of travel baseball, but I played very high level travel basketball. So there was St. Bonaventure initially recruited me for hoops when Solomon was there, Coach Solomon.
Oh, really?
And Duquesne was in was in big on hoops. Ron Everhart was there, who's now at West Virginia with Bob Huggins. There was a lot of like Lehigh, a lot of Patriot League schools, Lehigh, Holy Cross, but UMBC, Bucknell, places like that. Penn State, I was really big on. If Penn State would have offered me in hoops, I would not have played baseball. But they did not. They signed Taylor Battle, and can't blame him. Was a stud.
The rest was history on that one.
Didn't need that. So, it's all kind of go where you're needed as fate would have it, things like that. But yeah, there was a lot. There was actually way more basketball recruitment than baseball.
Really? Okay.
So if you don't mind me asking, Jesse, what were obviously St. Bonaventure, we all know you went and played baseball there. But for everybody else, where else did you have offers for baseball?
So baseball was basically a 3-horse race. St. Bonaventure, Duquesne, and Lehigh. And really, when it all came down to it, and Drew will probably, I think there's a question about this, but I was really torn. It was a tough decision. I asked for more time to decide about 3 times from St. Bonaventure. And I had a lot of talks with EJ, who I know you had on the show.
Yeah.
Just picking his brain on, as an 18-year-old kid, you do not know, you are not prepared to make a decision that's going to have this type of impact on the rest of your life.
No.
You just aren't. And I don't care what anybody says, they're not. You can have the best group of people around you, which I'm very fortunate to have. Mm-hmm. But you're 18 to 22 years and beyond, how it shapes you and the experience you have. It's a really important decision, a tough decision. So I would spent countless number of nights in a classroom with Weege, and he didn't tell me, he went to St. Bonaventure. He wasn't like, oh my, this place is great, you got to go there. He just listened and said, pray about it, think about it, think what's best for you. And at the end of the day, I honestly was sick of basketball recruiters telling me what I wanted to hear and leading me on, after keeping me third in line. If Taylor Battle doesn't sign, all right, we got Bosnik on the line if we ever need to go back there. And same thing happened at Lehigh. They signed CJ McCollum. Right. So they didn't need me, guys. It was all just you're hearing the used car salesman pitch, and you are not getting that from Larry Sudbrook. He is telling you straight up how he feels, and at that moment in time, I needed that. I appreciated that, and he was true to his word. So,
right.
And I loved Bonaventure when I was getting recruited for hoops. I just loved the campus.
Right. Well, and that kind of goes into, what really drew you in there, Jesse? This is where I want to go. I know Sudbrook, he's a legend. We'll touch on that down the line here, but what really drew you in upon us?
So pre getting to meet Coach Sudbrook, the campus, being a small town Elk County kid, it's very small. It's close to home.
Yes.
I had a really good experience there. It's different. It is not IUP.
No.
It is.
No, it's definitely not IUP.
Yeah.
It is God
really yeah. I think it helped, having my cousin Brad there. We had a lot of guys from St. Mary's there. Nick Brennan ended up being there. Tristan McKay was there. So like Kyle Gorby from Du Bois was there. So having a little bit of comfort probably made the transition smooth. But Coach Sudbrook just being straight up was what made the deal. He walked in the room, came into my house and said, here's my offer. I want you. What I'm going to do for you. Take it or leave it. He was honest and a man of his word from day one until the day I left. And
Right.
I'll probably give you a couple examples of where he didn't have to be and still was that makes me respect him forever.
Right. And I think, there's some Bonnie alum on here, Jesse, that'll listen. And just in passing, you kind of just get a little flavor of Sudbrook if you see him in the hallway. Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
He's just,
right.
he is redneck,
Yep.
saying exactly what's on his mind. I mean,
Yes.
good thing he retired because he would definitely be canceled here pretty quick.
Right. But it's something. But Jesse, just to go back to the roots at ECC, how much do you think that prepared you for life at SBU, academically, spiritually, and athletically? Do you think?
Oh, a ton. I mean, just what people can say, whatever they want about Coach Straub, but the basketball program he runs is not just, we won, we were good, but the preparing you for life aspect. I mean, it's not a job, but man, you're there. When I was there, it was 3.5, 4 hours a night. And it wasn't all basketball, it was life preparation and what the expectation is. And you got to hold up your end of the expectation, and what you need to sacrifice to be good. And then academically, I can't say enough about how it prepares you. I mean, college, you got to be a big boy too. Then mommy and daddy aren't getting you out of bed. Or you going to class? Because if you don't feel like it, you really don't have to. And that it instills those things upon you. So
no, and just the other thing too. Just we already touched on the recruiting process with baseball. You could touch on, Jesse, just the being coached by Sudbrook. I mean, we talked a little bit at the poorhouse there in St. Mary's, but you can tell more stories.
So here's the thing with Coach Sudbrook, and he why I respect to and it's tough. You come from Elk County, you don't face a whole lot of Friday, Saturday, Sunday arms. You don't see, I wasn't ready to hit as a freshman, hit like 260 or something. But on top of that, it's no different than in Elk County. As soon as it's nice out, you're getting out and throwing Mach 90, and my arm freaking hurt.
Yeah, you're wrong there.
I think I said this not every day, and believed in me, but most guys wouldn't do that. So for him, his confidence in me built confidence in myself, and then I wish I knew then what you find out in pro ball and take care of your arm a little bit, and it's no big deal. But I didn't know that at 18 or 20 or 21 or whatever it was, and my arm always hurt. And I just got up, and when it got nice out, threw it as hard as I could, as many times as I could, and away we went. But yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
No, I can attest that it does not work like that.
No.
Yeah, Josh.
Josh. Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, Jesse. I really do, man. As much as and I get it. As a freshman, you want to go out. I know Sudbrook, he gave you some confidence as well, but as soon as you step foot on that campus, you want to prove why you're worth that, whatever offer he gave you. You're trying to earn a spot. You're trying to win a spot. So I get it, man. Going balls to the wall, as soon as you get there, because I did the same thing. And, unfortunately, my shoulder had to give out. It took me, 3 or 4 years to get back to normal. By the time I got back to normal, I was out of there. So I get it, man. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. And it wasn't like I didn't need surgery or anything, but it was like my arm hurt, and it's not. I mean, it just, it wasn't like I couldn't throw, but I could throw that somebody 10 rows and deep in the bleachers. It was something. So as a freshman, that was the recruiting process, and then still, even before I ever put on a baseball uniform. The starting point guard for Bonas broke his ankle. So it's probably like, I don't know, late first semester, probably November timeframe, right when in the, Bonas is small. All the athletic officers are right there. Basketball coach, Coach Schmidt sees him. Hey, what do you think about Bosnik playing hoops? He said, well, I told him when I was recruiting him he could play both. That's fine. Yeah. So he came to me and said, hey, I had the conversation with Coach Schmidt. And most guys, once you sign on the line, you're theirs. Every college coach, it doesn't matter what they say. Once you sign on the line, it's over. You're committed. So for him to say, hey, talk to Coach Schmidt, here's what he had to say. I told you from day one, I'd support you if that's what you want to do. You'll miss a little bit of, the spring trip, but let me know what you want to do. And I was like, man, this guy's different. He's no nonsense.
Right.
Which it would have probably helped him a little bit because my money would have went to hoops because they only offer 4 rad and stuff. But whatever. He still didn't have to, he wouldn't have been getting all of me all the time to baseball if I played hoops as well. So respected that. And then, man, was that difficult when you have an offer like that, and especially when it's pulling on your heartstrings. So, my buddies were like, man, you got to do it. You'd be stupid not to. And we were playing intramural hoops at the time, and we had two fifth-year guys playing hoopers, playing intramural, like a 7-foot white dude and the former point guard and me, a couple other guys. And we're just beating the brakes off of guys by like 40. And, it's fun. Whatever. I'm like, Boz, you got to do it. You got to do it. I'm like, guys, I've been down this road. I did all this. I thought I made my decision, was done. Is it signed? Should I do it? So then I called Pops. I'm like, man, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
So he's actually hunting in Illinois. He doesn't answer the first time. He calls me back. And I'm like, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm on the verge of breaking down. Like, Pops, this is what I'm doing. I made this decision. I'm not doing it. And I just said 2, 3, 4 sentences like I did right here. And he just like, son, I'm a big boy. You got it. And all right, so I'm good. So I said, all right. But that now I know. Okay. So I've been down this recruiting deal. So I call Schmidt up, and Schmidt's a great guy, great coach.
Yes.
He really got the brunt of being on the wrong end of now a educated 18-year-old that's been through the process. So I already know my decision. I'm like, is this a 4-year scholarship or one? And I know it, they're all one, but if he walked through somebody's door and really wanted them, it's 4,
100%.
And he said, it's just one. I said, well, so if I bail you out, what's going to stop you from recruiting over me? And then he starts stuttering, a little bit. And it's just like, okay, yeah. He didn't, without saying anything, he was saying everything. I was just a short-term Band-Aid. And a couple others. So I had the conversation with him. I was professional and polite, but asking questions that I never would have had the courage to ask somebody recruiting me, 6 months earlier. And then just said,
and there was no chance he was prepared for those questions either. He wasn't he was expecting you to say yes, man. Everyone is.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever said that. You know what I mean? I'm sure nobody's nobody, unless they're, hey, I don't got time for you. I'm going to Tennessee or something. He might take
right.
that. But so it was all part of the process. But I was really glad to get the chance then to go back to IUP and run out of and they were good too, so that was fun. But
yeah, Jesse, how sick it would have been though to play in the Riley Center.
Oh my!
On a Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday afternoon. The place shuts down, Josh. It's something up there.
So I don't know if it was like this when you were there.
Yeah.
What's that? Go ahead, Joe.
That's nice for you guys. I wasn't blessed with watching good Pitt basketball for 4 years. The only time it was cool when Zion walked in when I was a junior. I was like, damn, this dude's huge, and we proceeded to lose by 40. So. Now they're back. The zoo, baby. Hey man, don't. we're gonna get smoked by Iowa State. I'm not getting my hopes up. I am a true Pittsburgh fan now, and I expect nothing but heartbreak.
No.
Just saying it.
No, but yeah, and then and I felt this was good too to have Josh here too, because Jesse, I'm not the most equipped in baseball, but I wanted you to touch on the pro ball and the process of going through the professional ranks from Bonaventure transitioning into the pro ball league.
Josh, you still playing?
Yeah, man, I'm in Florida right now for spring training with the Twins.
That's awesome, buddy. I thought you were still living the dream. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'm still living it. Still, I mean, one day of rehab at a time right now. My second Tommy John definitely wasn't exactly on the career plan there, but yeah, still doing it, Jesse. I am. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So
good. Keep fighting the fight. So my experience, Drew, it's great. You're around a bunch of people who all have the same goal, and you spend a lot of time. Like Josh can tell you, what people don't understand is you spend way more time before the game than you do. The game is just what the fans think. Oh, I could do this, show up and play for 3 hours every night and do it again the next night. But they don't know that you've been at the park for 5 hours already before the lights even turn on and did everything to get ready for the game.
Right. You got the scouting reports, all that stuff. I mean, you being a position player, I feel for you guys, man. Like, all I got to do, like, my job is to get usually 3 outs a night. So I just prepare for who I think I'm going to see in the 9th inning or 8th inning. You guys got starters, relievers, fielding positioning, what the guys, not just the starters and relievers, but what they throw, when they throw it, how hard they throw. And you, on top of that, you got batting practice, fielding. Some of you guys got to get a lift in. Like, that 5 hours, you don't sit down and rest. You're going. The only time you do is maybe eat and take a shit, and then you got to go run back outside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's every day for 130, for 130 games. So it's a lot of fun. It's a grind. I did enjoy it. I am good friends with Devin Miseraco. I'm sure you guys are aware of him. So I would always kind of confide in Devin. And, it was great. Dodgers were great. The time I was there, they kind of went through ownership change, obviously, the owners they have now, and they are spending money, right? So if you are now or then going to make it to the big leagues, you either got to be a part of a trade or a freaking stud.
They got to pay to get some money in the bank.
Yeah. So it's with anybody, but they were making a bunch of trades at that point in time. Wasn't a part of any trades, which is fine. Not saying you want to be traded, but sometimes if you're in a trade at the time for whoever, Kutch, or, if you're part of a big time trade and prospect, you got a chance. So it's a business. They're trying to get return on their investment. That is what it is. Josh can tell you, it doesn't matter if you got a 25th rounder and a 4th rounder. The 4th rounder is getting 900 more chances than the 25th rounder. That doesn't mean you can't make it as a 25th rounder, but you are not getting the opportunity to make it the same opportunity as that 4th rounder. So growing up in the backyard, you're always like, yeah, I'm better than this guy. I'm going to play. Now, I'm not saying that was my experience, but I'm saying you learn quickly that it is a business. It's not just it's a business. They're trying to get return on their investment.
And I can agree to that. My example. So get drafted in 2017, report to mini camp. I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, I'm one of 40 guys, because at that time the draft was still 40 rounds before they changed it a few years ago. I'm like, all right, one of 40 guys. Like it's an honor. So I'm happy. Had a decent season. 2018, I go to big league camp, and I'm watching these guys throw. Like, first off, I stepped on the field, and the first guy I faced was Joey Gallo. We all know who Joey Gallo is.
Yep.
That is one big son of a bitch, first. This man, first off, first big league outing, first big league spring training. I'm all hyped up. I'm excited. I got Salvador Perez behind the plate. I got Alex Gordon out in left field. I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy. Just keep him in the ballpark. First pitch, he hits one that goes about 450 feet. And in Arizona, where our field is, there's a 4-lane highway. And he hit it over the highway into the desert. I turn around and look at Salvi, and he's walking out and hands me the ball. I go, everything all right? He goes, welcome to the big leagues. And taps me in the ass and walks back in. I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, holy. And that, like you said, everyone has the same goal. I just happen to sneak into a big league game, and I'm just like, and me being a 23-year-old, I'm like, I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
And it opens your eyes, man. And you realize, like, multimillionaire. I got paid $25,000. Why do I deserve to be here?
Right.
It's like, why am I here kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just, and you know, you touched on it too. The sooner you can realize that, like, you might not get as many opportunities, but when you do, you make the most of it and you start earning more.
Right.
And then the front office kind of takes notice. That's when, you know, same thing in working a, 9-to-5 job. You start doing better, whatever you have to do, your tasks daily, people take notice of that.
Yep.
And then, being a part of a trade or, anything like that, that's huge. That means that other organization likes you more than the organization that already has you.
Right.
Yep. Right. Yeah. But, Jesse, any big names that you brushed shoulders with while you were with Dodgers?
When I was with the Dodgers, I played with Jock, Peterson. Seager was there. Seager's a great guy. He was unbelievable. First round guy, but he's taking care of 40th round dudes, giving spikes away and stuff.
Yeah.
Zach Lee, who I'm not sure if you know him, but he was drafted in the first round, signed for like $8 million, which was a lot back in, I'm getting old, probably 2010 or something like that. Because he was supposed to play quarterback for LSU, so he signed. I roomed with him a lot. And he probably still has that money to this day, because I think every time we ordered pizza or something, I was buying. I'm like, man, got $8 million, buy this pizza, man. Don Mattingly's kid, he was cool. Preston, they basically sent down to like mentor Jock, which was neat. And it's the same thing. Like Jock, when he was in A-ball, he got ran out in a 3-hole every night. He was hitting like $138, and that was before it was cool to hit below 200, like Joey Gallo. And then like you said, Jock got run out there every night, and then like he's hitting 130 for the season. Next year he goes to AA, and next year AAA. Then he's in the big leagues. Right.
Yeah. That's all. The only thing that matters, man, is the paycheck you get when you sign. I'm telling you.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, so I played 3 years. To get back, about the Mez deal, I'm like, Mez, how do you know how long to do this for? Is it? And he's like, it's different for everybody, boss. You can play 10 years if you get with a cool group of AAA guys, and it's just a blast. Guys that, understand the game, fun to be around. If you can get that, maybe that's worth it to you. Do you want, if you have one big league at bat, does that mean your life is complete? If you, whatever. He's like, but if the moment you think that you're not going to make it, well, you don't have to keep playing, So, and I kind of, started thinking about it. So I came home for the off season and worked out, stayed in shape. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to spring training. I'm not going to care. And if I get there and it means the world to me, I'll know. You just know. It's one of those things. So I went to spring training, could care less, and I absolutely mashed. And I'm like, yep, time to be done, because if I'm putting these cleats on every day, I'm going to care so much. It's not, I'm going to compete my freaking tail off. It's the harder you grip the bat, the harder you try, sometimes you're fighting yourself, You just got to chill out and let it happen. And I just showed up carefree, and maybe that was my problem. Maybe I cared too much. I don't know. But at that point, when I didn't care and played well and said, yep, it's time. I'm good.
Right.
So I went in, said, hey, I'm out of here.
Oh, wow.
Said I'm starting my life. I had no idea what I was going to do, but
right. I guess. I mean, for me, it's different from you guys. I mean, I guess giving it up at the professional level, I feel like it's different than college because, like, okay, like running, like, okay, I'm done, I'm graduating, I'm, next chapter. But like, you guys kind of get to decide, in a way. All right, I'm kind of done. You know what I mean? Like that had to be hard, Jesse. You know what I mean? It was part of your life for so long.
it was hard a lot of time when it wasn't just like, yeah, I'm done. Next day, walked in. It was a very hard process. I can tell you this: if baseball was my basketball, they would have had to pull the jersey off me. You know what I mean? Like Josh, he's going to play till he can't put spikes on, or somebody tells him he can't.
Yeah.
I just said, no, I'm not going to make it to the big leagues. And it was great, but it's a lot. Like you miss a lot of things. You miss a lot of family. You're living out of a suitcase for 5 months. It's not until you get on the 40-man, you're not rich. You're not, you don't, it's not what you see on TV in the minor leagues. And I don't think people understand that. When I was playing, it was like $1,000 a month. So you're working your tail off all off season, and you're not working your tail off so that you can buy a nice car. You're working your tail off so that you can eat, or pay rent. It's not, you're not getting ahead, I guess, is all I'm saying. And it wasn't, a financial reason that I quit. I'm saying, that I said, hey, I'm retiring, but it was just like, no, I'm not. I'm a smart kid. I can do other things.
Right.
But you still miss it. You still
you
miss the competition is the thing. The camaraderie, I would say, and the competition.
Yeah. I mean, you like you said, the camaraderie, man. Like just being in the clubhouse full of 25, 30 dudes, half of them can't speak English. We get that.
Right,
but like just being around them, just like that clubhouse, that team, that locker room atmosphere, man, there's just something about it that, a lot of people will never understand it. I try to describe it to people and they just look at me like I'm nuts. Like it's a whole different feeling. And like, Jesse, you and I were bred into it from the time we were, could walk and dribble a basketball, pick up a baseball and throw it. It's just, it's part of us, man.
Yeah. Even the Latin guys, I mean, you get close with those. Some of those, I mean, they're every cent they make, they're sending home for. I mean, there's a reason they're trying to get off the island, man, and it's their want to. I mean, that drives them, and that's why they throw hard. And man, can they hit a fastball?
Hey, I'll tell you what,
they're hard workers. No,
you spin it though, they can't hit it.
Yeah, that's what I said. They can hit a fastball.
Yeah. But no, you're right, dude. They have it's their only source of income, man. They go back to the DR, they're done, or they're Venezuela, or whatever it is. Like, they want it. Sometimes you can see the guys that signed for $10,000 want it way more than the guys with first round picks.
Yep,
it's unbelievable.
For sure.
Yeah.
But just I do have to say, to this point in our conversation here, we cannot say, I have to say this. You over your whole athletic career, you inspired me. You inspired other athletes at ACC.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, watching you ball out. I mean, that going back to the 33-0 run there. I mean, you were the Superman. Like everybody loved Jesse Bosnik. Like,
thanks, Drew.
I just have
Drew.
I just have to say that.
Drew, I'm coaching. These guys don't even know who I am. They want to run around with Coach Nate.
Well, I don't. They don't understand. Well, they missed out on prime basketball. Let me tell you right now.
That's why I knew I was getting old, Drew.
Yeah. No,
that's when you know.
You're the fountain of youth, Jesse. You're the fountain of youth. But when you look back, Jesse, on your athletic career, what was the best moment in your life over your whole career? It could be in basketball. It could be multiple.
That's a really good question.
Yeah, I know it's tough for every athlete to answer.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And there's a lot of really cool moments, but the state championship is probably it. because there was so much that went into that.
Right.
And a lot of hard work. And then, the relationship I have with my dad and just the relationship that hoops has given us. The state championship is cool. Getting drafted is unbelievable.
Right.
Touch on that one, Jesse. Touch on draft day, because
I just want
to draft day definitely holds a special place in my heart. I'd have to say I didn't win a state championship. We were close. We couldn't get it done. We were also very undersized. But draft day is hands down my favorite as an athlete. So I want to hear your experience. I would like to. Yeah.
So draft day was unique. I played in Wilmington, North Carolina, Coastal Plains League after my sophomore year, so summer going into my junior year. Had a good junior year, was trying to figure out what to do. Liked Wilmington. I mean, the place is awesome. Town. So went back there. Hoped of getting drafted, plan of getting drafted. So it's draft day, phone's ringing. I think Cardinals call in like the 5th round or something. And I'm same thing as the recruiting process. I don't know how to handle what the right thing to say is when somebody calls. Like, hey, if somebody calls you, hey, you gonna sign for $30,000? Well, so I'm at the yard. So this is what happened. Cardinals, hey, will you sign for $30,000? I'm like, what round is it? It's 5th round. I'm like, I'll sign for slot in that round. Whatever.
Yep, good answer. I like that answer.
Yeah, so
that's what I said too.
Yeah, so that's the answer I gave. And I mean, Foxy, I talked to a lot about how to handle it and things. I didn't have an agent or anything. So I hang a phone, don't draft me. So it's tough. Like, you can't be at the yard, draft day is going on, you're getting calls, whatever.
Yep.
Like, I got my phone in my shorts as I'm taking BP, and then the Dodgers called, and it was the 10th round or something, I think. Hey, will you sign for $30,000? And now I'm like, man, you give me $5, I'll freaking go. You know what I mean? So I said yes, which in hindsight, I don't think might not have been the greatest thing, because then the guy at drafts you comes in, and they're not moving much off the whatever you say you're going to sign for, which is fine. So just that process. So draft day was great. I'll sign, and they end up taking me in the 13th round.
Right.
So now I got a 7.5-hour ride home. Like, hey, I'm out of here. See ya. Leave the yard. So that ride home is great. You're on freaking cloud 9. You're calling time whoever you can. Like, hey, I got drafted by the Dodgers. Let's go. So it was great, but I wasn't with anyone. Spent the whole ride, by myself. But it was cool with the family, and then got signed officially a couple days later. But the process is the same thing. You learn quickly it's a business. The guy that drafts you really isn't your buddy. It's
he's looking to make a buck too, kind of thing.
Yep. And if he texts you, he's not texting you to be your buddy. He's looking for dirt, or what he can. Yeah, it's just. So that's the only.
And you touched on it too early, when people don't see behind closed doors, like that draft day process, man, is fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
It's bad. You got there's scouts in every like area that are like, all right, we have these 3 guys. I've heard this story. I heard this story from a guy here. He got drafted by the Rays in like the 18th round as a senior. He ended up going, but it was like there's 3 guys that they like, and they text each area scout. They're like, all right, give me your guy, give me your guy, give me your guy. Whoever texts back or answers first, we'll sign. And it's like, go. And I'm just like,
wow,
holy smokes. So
yeah, it's not a joke. Like, it's pretty high stakes.
Yeah, that seems cutthroat. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, and if you miss out, if you text back 2 minutes late, man, you miss out on a chance to play professional baseball. Like,
that's wild.
It's crazy. It's tough.
Yeah,
but it was definitely it was really cool for sure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And while I was at Bono, we weren't that good in the win-loss column, so I guess I don't have a real great.
Well, hey, Jesse, here's a cool little fact, because I touched on at the bottom. I wanted to talk about some stories and things from Bonas, because the athletic trainer, not an athletic trainer, weightlifting coach Fisk.
Yeah.
He said, "You St. Mary's boys," he would just get on me, but
we're different.
I have to. You guys are different. You guys are goofy.
Hey! Throw Elk County into that mix. Hey! Throw Elk County in there.
Right. No, but the cool thing, Josh, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, Jesse actually has his baseball card up there in one of the. I don't even know what the.
It's just like a trophy display case.
Trophy case. Deal. Yeah. I mean, I was like, that's my cousin right there, Jesse. But
that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But no. But Jesse, I just want to touch on too. Being in the Dodgers organization, what made you want to come back to Elk County? That's a tough question. I know.
Honestly, like,
jeez, Drew, damn.
My whole family's here.
Right.
Both my sisters, their kids, mom and dad, grandparent. Elk County, not a lot of people want to move back here. It has everything I need. My family's here. You can hunt. You can be a part of, you get involved with the kids. Coaching is great. I love it here. I don't need a big city. My wife lived in Rockville, Maryland.
Oh, wow.
We were doing distance, around after pro ball there, which is basically DC, and you can do anything you want. I hated it. It's I don't need to sit in traffic for a half hour. I don't need, to pay $76 for a 10-piece chicken nugget or whatever it is in Cali. Elk County's just fine for me. So, came back home.
Okay.
Speaking of 10-piece, I could go for a 10-piece right now. You made me really hungry, man. That sounds
good. Yeah. But I guess, Jesse, too, to touch on, I know it's not in the questions, but what got you to want to coach, like get involved in coaching?
Yeah, so I came. I think I might have helped JV a couple years. So obviously it's tough at the varsity level. Coach Straub's been doing it for 41 years.
I'm not sure he's given up that spot yet.
No, he's going strong. So I helped Coach Buhite, and my dad has been coaching for ever. He was helping varsity, and then Coach Buhite took a different job where he wasn't as available. So to be able to coach with Pops, and now Pops got to listen to me and take direction from me. So the shoe's on the other foot. That's pretty good.
Right.
I like that one.
I got a good story, just real quick. So we're in Brookville. We're in Brookville this year, and we struggled in the win-loss column. We were like 9-13, but it's all good. We're developing guys, and Brookville's pretty good. We lost by I think 27 at home. We're up in Brookville. We're battling. It's like a 4 to 6 point game. And you're chirping, going back with the officials, and JV refs are JV refs. They're JV refs for a reason. So
absolutely.
Hopefully there's no JV refs listening to this ever. Won't be getting any calls. So the old man's bitching, and I called timeout, and you see the ref, he's coming for him. And so I'm running the huddle, and I hear the ref, "Hey, are you the head coach?" So I know it's coming next. That's it. I'm not going to listen to you. I'll listen to the head coach. So the old man's kind of ignoring him, starts talking to the other referee. And this goes on the whole time out. So finally I get the kids out of the huddle. He goes back and finds the ref who said, "Hey, are you the head coach?" And he's like, "No, but I should be." And I look at him like, "Did you just say what I think you said?" Well, he didn't have a comeback for it. I knew he wasn't ready for that. I'm like, "You're an idiot."
No.
Yeah. Good one. That is a good one.
Yeah. But I mean, Jesse, it's just cool to, and I think there's a lot of people, my age, and I can't believe kids that you're coaching now don't know, about, just crazy. You know what I mean? But let's see here. What else do we got?
I got one, Jesse. So growing up, you're a tremendous athlete, smart guy on off the court, field, whatever it may be. Who did you idolize? It can be anybody. It can be an athlete, anybody. Who was your idol? Who did you look up to the most growing up?
Boy, that's really good. Man.
And if you have a couple, by all means, go ahead. But
So
I'd like to know this.
I could tell you probably a score from a Crusader basketball game in 1995. So I looked up to those guys a lot, like Marty Tim when he was at Elk, and then played a lot with them. Man, biggest guy I looked up to when I was growing up. But I always, so like being around it and just going to practices with my dad and being around it, and then learning as you get older to get better, you always have to play with someone better than you. So I was always running around and playing with guys. Like Marty is probably 40, 41, so like 6 years older.
Okay.
And then playing with guys like Steve Straub, who Steve is probably, I don't know, 46, 42. He's old. 42.
Steve's up there for sure.
He's got to be way older than that. 40, probably 46, something like that. But I didn't see Steve. I remember watching Steve play in college. I don't remember him in high school. But just guys like that. Watching AJ a lot, but didn't really like idolize. He's only 6. He's my oldest sister's age, so 5 years older. But I would say, like from an idolization standpoint, like Marty Tim, Foxy, same age.
Yep.
Foxy, same thing as Marty Tim, 40 probably now. And Foxy grew up, so I don't know if you know this, Josh. He was my next door neighbor, straight across the street.
I didn't actually know.
He'd come over and shoot hoops in my driveway, and then he built a batting cage in the backyard, I think like his senior year. So I'd go over there, all these high school kids hitting and stuff and thinking I was cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, probably like guys like Foxy, Marty Tim. That would be the guys.
And those, I mean, I've heard story. I know Foxy. I've met him a few times just through my grandfather. But Marty, I've heard stories about him as well. I mean, those are some good guys to look up to, Jess. I mean, honestly, turned out pretty damn good for you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
But Jesse, the other thing we got to touch on, I think you're starting to realize, and I'm starting to realize, there's a pipeline from ECC to SBU. Do you feel that you, Nick Brennan, and them guys played a role in that?
Drew, can you name a guy before me? That's all I want to know. Weejay. All right. Thank you. Good call, Weejay.
Yeah. Because I asked him the same question. Yeah.
Weejay started it. What did Weejay say? I didn't listen. Now you're gonna make me feel bad.
No. He just went there. Like he didn't go on a visit or anything. He just decided he didn't know anybody there. And he just thought it was a wonderful place, and he ended up going there. And I'm like, that is so. That's not common, Jesse. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a nice place. But then, it blossomed into, he made friends. He's a very personable guy and likable guy, and just a good dude. You know what I mean? But
I did help recruit some, like Nick Brennan. So when I was getting recruited as a junior, we're playing up in Smethport. They had a Luther kid who was pretty good. They might have actually went to see him because I had already signed. I was a senior, so I already signed. So they're probably checking in on me. I think they were looking at the Luther kid. And Nicky B hit like 2 balls over the trees in Smethport and threw a jam or something. I'm like, yeah, you should get him to come up too. So they ended up, signing Nicky. But I've always had good things to say. It is tough there to win with the financial situation and the amount of scholarships. But I mean, it is 100%, at least in baseball, you need every scholarship guy to be good and not have 2 injuries and two guys that can't play D1. It's
Right.
just really tough.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
But-
miss on those, especially
No.
Division I baseball. Just baseball in general. I mean, you only get 11, so it's like
Right.
you miss on one guy, there goes however much it costs for 1 year.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Schlemmy, I coached Schlemmy
Yep.
1 year, came back and helped him.
Mhm.
Great dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think just if anybody ever asked me, I raved about it, so I wouldn't see
Right.
why. But that doesn't mean, Josh, go to Pitt. Like you can go play against Miami, and you're not playing Niagara, and you're not playing UB. It's
Right.
it isn't an ideal baseball school in terms of weather. I mean,
Right.
you might get 2 weekends a year where you don't have 3 layers under your jersey and can actually feel your hands. Like it might be okay for a pitcher, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
Oh,
No. I just remember that, they would be out there, in the springtime, and it would be snowing, and they're out there, doing BP. And I'm like, I just feel really bad for them. I mean, I'm running at the same time, but I'm just like, that has to suck. Trying to field the ball.
Running.
And,
I mean, we're running hard for 90 feet. That's about
right.
it.
Well,
hey, listen, it might not be that great for a pitcher either, because we got a shag BP, man. We're standing out there where you guys are swinging.
That's true.
Right. But no, Jesse, is there what else did I want to touch on? Yeah, and I asked Weech this question. I just want to see your opinion on this. What do you think it is about ECC that they're able to produce so many successful people both in and out of sports? Like, what do you think it is?
Just the structure for me.
Okay.
And I think structure is important for any athlete, organization, successful, anything. Not saying you can't be successful without structure, but you are going to have a much better chance to succeed just with structure. And school is good. I mean, but everybody goes to school, and you can make it what you want to make it.
Right.
And not saying the golf team or the baseball team aren't great programs, but the basketball team is set up differently. I mean, it just is.
There's an expectation, is what it is. From the outside looking in. There's an expectation, just on from the basketball side.
Right.
I feel like Straub holds everybody. Even the guy from,
first guy to the last
guard. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I couldn't spit it out.
But expectation. You're 100% right. The expectation, and it's not a result expectation. It's a process expectation, which in life translates to success, whatever you're doing.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But, Josh, you have any other questions for Jesse you wanted to ask, or?
Yeah, I got a couple for pro ball here.
Okay.
All right.
So Jesse and I mean, pro ball now, the minor leagues, they're starting to take care of us a little bit more. What was the worst? And listen, I know you've been on the buses, man. I'm still on the bus route too. What's the worst bus trip or longest bus trip you've ever had?
So I'm gonna piggyback it. We went to Billings, Montana, which was like a 12-hour bus trip.
Wait a minute, is this in the Pioneer League, Jesse?
Yes. Yep.
You play in Ogden?
Yes.
All right, so I played in Idaho Falls.
Yep. Okay.
Oh,
so
God,
you
man.
stayed in the Bedrock? That is the worst hotel, dude. I swear to God, there was cockroaches, and I'm pretty low maintenance, but I strongly considered just sleeping in the shower.
But I remember so we had a longer trip too as well. I think ours was like, I want to say 12 to 14, but it was a 2-week road stint. So we went from We went from Ogden to Billings, and then we had somebody else in there. But Billings was our last trip. So we get off the bus, like we're all extremely pissed off and tired, and we have to play in like 4 hours. So I'm like, I just want to lay down. I just want to get in bed. I don't care what it is. I got to start tonight. Just let me sleep for like 2 hours. Just let me get a nap. Roll my tired ass and suitcase into the room, and I jump on the bed, and the bed goes like this.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh God.
my words were, "You've got to be kidding me."
Yeah.
I didn't move. I just laid. I'm like, I'm just gonna wear it. There were no cockroaches there at that time, but it was pretty sketchy.
Yeah. And Drew, you probably don't understand this. So you got Latins, probably about 15 of them in the back of the bus, and their culture is not like, hey, it's 2:00 in the morning. Let's put our headphones in and chill and watch a movie. It's a full-blown party in the back of the bus. So if you think you're sleeping, unless you got somebody that's going back there that's 6'5", 230 and says, I'm going to kick everybody's ass if you don't shut up back here, it's a freaking party. And they got chicken in a cooler that, in Josh's example, might have went bad or got hot or never got out of the cooler that might stink. I mean, there's all sorts. Oh, it's a whole new world, man.
It opens your eyes. We'll put it that way, Drew. It's like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
God.
Yeah. No, that's something. I mean, is there any other good things you want to ask him, Josh? Or
did you ever play? Did you play in Helena, Jesse?
Yes.
Oh God.
Helena. The worst is the dog food factory. Where's that in Iowa? Clinton,
Iowa. Yeah, I heard about that. Let's hear about this. Go ahead.
So when we go there, and it was there's 2 teams in Iowa. I don't remember the other. The other one had a casino, but Clinton, there's like dog food factory, hotel, stadium. And as soon as you walk out of the hotel, it's just like, oh my gosh, what is that? And then you can't unsmell it. It just stinks the whole time. It is bad. And the stadium is worse than Bull Durham. You can't. It's just not. It's not good. And I think Taiwan Walker pitched that night, so nobody was hitting anything.
Oh, well, that helps too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then in pro ball, so you're in these little towns, and the game's over. You play 7 to 10. You get out of there. It's 11 o'clock at night. Nothing's open. There's one place open, so you're either eating gas station food or this ma and pa diner. So we're in this diner, and they're just the people you see at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and you're trying to get something, and you're like, just get me out of this. See, we got 3 nights here. Let's go.
Dude, and it's like you said, like, get me out of here. Like, I came from the middle of nowhere, and I'm really in the middle of nowhere, and I feel uncomfortable right now.
Oh yeah, and it's like Hills Have Eyes stuff when you're on the bus. You have no service. You don't see a house or any sort of establishment for like an hour and a half. You're like, man, I hope we got gas in this bad boy and the tire doesn't blow up.
So we're on the way from Idaho Falls to Helena.
Yeah, the only thing you see is animals for 3 hours.
Mountains and clouds, and I'm sitting there in animals too. And this is when like rookie ball expanded their roster. So like usually a coach bus, if you're lucky, you get you luck out and get one little 2 seats to yourself. We sat 2 to a row from the 3rd row back. Coaches got their own. Everybody else is sitting there like this.
Yeah,
and we're stuck like this for 14 hours.
Oh Jesus!
You have 2 professional athletes sitting next to each other on a bus for 14 hours. Envision it.
Yeah, and it's not like these guys. Like some guys obviously are smaller, but I'm sitting there like against the window, next to our cleanup hitter, who's like you said, 6'5" and 230.
Yeah,
and just he's an older guy and he's grumpy as shit. Oh my God. I'm like, just look out the window. Don't say anything. Just don't say anything.
It isn't like, all right, hey, I'm going to shut her down and take a nap. No, you're not, because you're not getting comfortable.
No, absolutely not. So either spring training, Jesse, or during the season, man, like you talk about, it's a grind. Who was the best arm you faced? It could be a big league, it could be whoever it was. Who was the best arm that you had to go up against?
So I'm going to say it was a series
Okay.
Just because they were good. So the Blue Jays at the time, who were Lansing Lugnuts or whatever,
I think they're still there, actually.
Noah Syndergaard, no chance. Aaron Sanchez, who was good. I think
that guy was I'm pretty sure he's with us now, actually, but I'm pretty sure he won a couple Cy Youngs, didn't he?
Yeah. And then Justin Nicolino, who I don't know if he's in the league, but he played for Marlins a little bit, but he was lefty. And all I remember, so Syndergaard just shoved it straight up her tail. Then comes Sanchez. Nobody's getting hit. Thank God, they're prospects, so they're going like 5 innings. So you got a chance late, maybe. But then all I remember, I'm like, man, I haven't gotten a hit in like 16 at bats. So here's Nicolino, and he has me just completely. It's like 1-2. He might have threw like 94 outside fastball, breaking ball, miss, like waste a fastball. So I'm like, all right, here comes a slider. This dumb shit throws a changeup, and I almost knock his head off. And I'm like, that's the problem with pro ball. Honest to God, that was the biggest thing I hated about pro ball. So in college, like if somebody strikes me out 2 times in a row on a slider, I know they're going to try and strike me out on a slider again, and the pitcher's going to make me adjust, right? Like that's what you do. So I can think that way and adjust. Pro ball, that's what I hate. Like if you blow 98 past me, just keep blowing it past me. No, you're going to throw, hey, I'm going to make an adjustment before he makes an adjustment. And the Latins, they don't know. Like there's no plan.
No, you just got to hope to God you don't get ear hole with 100, because some of those guys don't know where it's going.
Oh boy.
That was my biggest frustration with low-level minors is I always tried thinking with the pitcher and how's this guy going to try and get me out? Or, I mean, like when you're the 3-hole hitter in college, if there's a guy on base, it's going to be soft. Like it's just the way it's going to be. You might see a fastball, but it's not going to be a strike. So I can hit that way. Yeah, if you strike me out with a slider in the dirt, you're going to strike me out the same way. That's what you should do. That's what I would do. Pro ball, especially at the lower levels and just the overcoaching.
Yeah.
You can't have a plan or an adjustment. They're just change. Maybe it's smart. I don't know, but I hated that portion of it. Like, dude, if you would have threw a slider in the dirt, I'm out. I probably would have swung and missed. But you threw a changeup and you almost landed on the IL.
Yeah, 100%. And I was going to say that too. Like, I know when I was in the lower levels, every pitching coach or coordinator, when they came into town, always wanted to put have their hands on you and say like, I got him to the big leagues, or he got to AAA because of me, or whatever.
That was the worst.
So I'm assuming it was the same way, right?
Same exact thing, and I hate it. Everybody's trying to make an adjustment and do this. Baseball is hard enough as it is, let alone when you're trying to think about one little tweak instead of just making a good swing or, having a plan. And it's just, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And the problem with me is I guess I wasn't smart enough or stubborn enough to just be like, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. Here's how I'm doing it. It was, maybe I'll stand up, or maybe I'll toe tap, or maybe I'll open up, or it's just, you can't be a professional that way. And I hated that about pro, because it was nonstop. Like you go on a week-long homestand and 3 different coordinators come in and they're all trying to mess with you. And it's fine. It's like, that would honestly would be one of my biggest, like if I could tell anybody going in to pro ball freshly drafted is like, don't be unprofessional. Listen to what they have to say. And they do have good intentions, but you can't change something every other week. It's like a 10,000 hour rule till you have muscle memory. I mean, you can't work on something at 2:00 and expect it to work at 7:00 that night. It's just not. It's not how it works.
No,
I mean, if you want to spend all off season doing it, absolutely. But I mean, look at Bellinger. You can't. Yeah, it's. Yeah. I don't need.
So I got a funny story about that. The overcoaching. We had a lefty free agent sign when I was with the Royals in 2019. He was real big, real tall, but he threw straight over the top. And now with the fastball up and curveball down kind of thing, or breaking ball down, he would have been a stud. Well, the Royals were telling him, hey, throw your fastball down in the zone. It's harder to hit. And every time he would throw it down, it had that extra little backspin there, so it would carry. So he got lit up.
Yep.
So, I mean, he was throwing 96 to 100. And they go, hey, we're going to try something different. We want you to throw submarine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe it'll work for him, whatever, maybe not. You know, knowing what I know now, I would have said, no, don't ever do that. But, like, he went out and did it. He went out and did it for like a week before he actually got on the mound. Got on the mound and threw a decent bullpen. And he even said to himself, he even said to us, like, he was my locker buddy, he goes, I mean, that was just beginner's luck and my elbow was barking. So extended spring training comes around. He goes out in the first game, blows out his elbow, career over. All
well,
because,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not a person, you know, it's just, they don't care about you. I mean, yeah, they want to say, hey, I got Josh Mitchell to the big leagues because I told him how to hold this breaking ball or whatever. But they don't, doesn't matter to them that you blow your arm out because you went submarine. You know what I mean? And that's really tough to be strong, have some conviction and belief in yourself and be like, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And you're right. It's like, you know, you're pretty much telling your boss, like, no. Like, at the end of the day, those coordinators are technically, like, they're like a supervisor, like a boss. And it's like, like you said, you got to believe in yourself and have the conviction knowing that what you do is good enough. Like, you wouldn't be here. Like, you wouldn't have got drafted when you did, where you did, if you weren't good enough. You know, that's what, so I don't think people understand. They think, oh, once I get there, like, once you get there, you're supposed to listen, you're supposed to change. No, maybe, like you said, it might work. They might have good intentions behind it. They do have good intentions behind it, but I can guarantee you some of those guys in the big league clubhouse now just said, you know, I'm good. Like you said, like, leave me alone.
Well, and we weren't, you know, you're not brought up that way, so it makes it tough. But it's not, it's just you can't be up there thinking and play at that level. You just can't.
No, you're right. I mean, that goes with any level. So if kids are listening, just go out and have fun.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Right. Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, Josh, do you have anything else, or?
No,
I mean,
I'm happy to have me. I'm happy to have me back. It's a pleasure. Jesse, you and I have crossed paths a couple times, man. We never actually got to chop it up, so I'm glad we did. And when I come home, we're definitely going to sit down at the poorhouse.
Sounds good.
Yeah. No,
I don't
Jesse,
want to see you anymore at 2:00 in the morning for Allegheny Coatings employee dinners.
Oh, God. Listen,
I'd
man,
much
if
rather
Sherry
see
was
you at the poorhouse.
Fair enough. But if Sherry and Tony weren't paying me that good, I probably wouldn't show up. I'm going to say that.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be there. So if you want to show up again, that's fine.
I'll probably just sneak away. I'll let Drew do all the serving. I'll come talk to you for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on. It was great.
Yeah,
good
great time, man.
Yeah. No, I just want to.
Good luck in spring training. Get healthy.
I'm working on it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. I really do. I'm doing it for all you guys back home.
Yeah. But I just want to say thank you, Jesse, for coming on. I think a lot of people will be happy to see your face. Maybe friends, teammates along the way, you know, even fans, you know, around my age that looked up to you all those years. You inspired a lot of athletes, and, you know, we appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Thanks, guys. No problem.
All right, Jesse. Hey, all right. And that was, you know, another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. We'll be back again next week. All gas, no breaks. Have a good day. Have a good night. And God bless. Thank you.